Hey y'all, hi. This is Ife, and I am living in China. So I wanted to come on here to talk to you about my latest video that I put up. It's called it's about Xi'an and live. Even though I live in China, there are many cities around China that I love to visit. So one of them is sorry, I'm looking for my green juice. Sorry, I'm drinking my green juice right now. I was looking for it for a second, but I wanted to share with you guys some of the highlights of that trip and what I really loved about it and what I enjoyed. So the thing about Xi'an is that at that point in time when I visited Xi'an, it was like an 8-hour train ride from where I was living. So I was living on the east coast of China, and I had to go all the way west to Xi'an. So I took an 8-hour train, bullet train actually, which isn't so bad. Actually, it wasn't bad. Once you have something to do, you actually could stay quite occupied. And I believe while I was filming while I was on the bullet train, I actually filmed and showed you guys that I was filming, like I was editing a video when I was on my way to Xi'an. So that's the great thing about bullet trains in China. They're quite comfortable enough where you can actually get some work done, especially if you have long train rides and stuff. So what I did is, yeah, edit. You can scroll on your phone, relax. People pretty much leave you alone, and those trains are pretty comfortable. The bullet trains they are set up in such a way where you can order food as well from the different train stops as you go, and you don't have to really worry too much about getting hungry. So if you order ahead of time, they're like a couple stops ahead. You can get your food delivered to you. So that was really cool. That's really cool. Now, so now when I created that, when I filmed that vlog, sorry, it would have been in 2019 actually, and I don't know if that service was available yet. Right now, it's definitely available. Depending on the train line you're on, there's a QR code on your seat on your armrest where you can order your food ahead of time, and like 2-3 stops later you can get your food delivered to you. I mean, I'm saying 2-3 stops later, but there are certain points where you can along your journey that you can order food, and there's a certain point you can no longer order your food because you wouldn't get it in time on the train, before you get off. So I really love the way that China can really make sure that you are comfortable with regard to the infrastructure, and how they just make sure that there are always conveniences for you where you can enjoy, right? So that's one great thing about it. So that was my first time going to Xi'an. Actually, I've only been to Xi'an one time. I have always heard about Xi'an, like it's a must place. It's a must visit place. You must go see the terracotta warriors, like that kind of thing. So the great thing about it is that where the school I was working at that point in time, it was working on like a 10-day schedule or cycle where you work for 10 days. You really work for 9 days because you get a day off in the middle, and then you get 4 days off. Or you will work like 12 days and get 5 days off, or 4 days, or 5 days off. And then you get two days off in at some point in your 12-day stretch. So at first I remember it being quite difficult, but after a while it got a little bit easier to handle and manage. And then you start planning trips. So that's why I ended up planning this Xi'an trip. Now, I've heard about the terracotta warriors, but I remember when I was visiting Xi'an, I had asked a couple of friends who had already visited, and they told me you must go to somewhere called the Muslim Quarter. So, in the video that I recently posted, you can see that's where I went to the hostel that I booked. I can't remember what inside the hostel, like the actual rooms were like. Hostels are not, they're usually they're okay in China, depending on how well you look. You plan ahead and look carefully for a hostel. They usually have a community vibe. So that particular hostel in Xi'an, they were really helpful with mapping out where I wanted to go. So I did that. She explained like give me like a strategy to make sure that I saw as much as I could. And as you think about a hostel, they're going to tell you based on the time that you have, they're going to tell you how long you should like where you should go, like what order, what sequence, and how long to spend in certain places and stuff, because they want to make sure that you maximize your time there, right? So I really love that about hostels. Hotels, not too much, not really helpful with that. So once she helped me map out where I wanted to go, I remember my first stop was in Muslim Quarter. I was hungry. And the Muslim Quarter was not, it wasn't a very long walk from the hostel, maybe like a 20-minute walk if I remember. And it's very scenic along the way too, which was quite good. So what I did, I walked towards the Muslim Quarter, and on the way there, you see something called the Drum Tower. And you think about it, it's the way it's situated, or is it the bell tower? One of those. Where it's situated, it's like so breathtaking. I don't think my video did it justice. So I saw it when it was still bright outside. The sun hadn't set yet, but it was about to. So I got to see it then, and got to see it also at the end of the video. If you watch the whole thing, you would see I saw it again when it was completely lit. It was just like mind blowing, like gorgeous. It was huge. I remember saying like the video wasn't given doing it any justice with regard to how massive the tower was, the bell tower was. So it was really impressive how well lit it was. The positioning of it in the city as well. They sort of create like an area where you can sit down, and it's like a sunken in seated area where you can sit down and you can watch and admire, but you also relax with your family. Now, I don't know. So when I went, it was not crowded at all to my idea of crowded in China, because I know what crowded in China can be, and that wasn't crowded. I think if you're coming from another country or you're watching these videos, you would think that's crowded, but it isn't, right? So, um, I uh, I remember thinking, what would it be like when it's actually really crowded? That's the craziest thing. So if you have any questions so far, please put them in the chat. I'd love to respond to them as I go if you have any questions. If you've watched the Xi'an video that I posted as well, please let me know what you think about it so far. I'd love to hear your thoughts, and if there's anything in particular you want to see when I travel around China and I share, what I experience. Um, so let's see. One thing about the Muslim Quarter, there's a lot of shopping. But the first thing you see, I'm sorry, before you even see it, you smell it. All you smell is food. There's food. Like man, I went there hungry, and my head was on a swivel. I didn't know where to go. I didn't know what to look at. I was just so excited. I think I was just happy to be out. I don't know. Like, it seems as though I was like inside all the time or something. I was really excited to just be like, just Muslim food. I love Muslim food because I don't eat pork. So I know for sure things there are going to be halal. There was not going to be pork. I don't think there was pork. And if there was pork, there would have been like signs making sure that certain places are halal. Halal. It'll be a green sign usually that would state that it's halal, and you can see it from the outside of the establishment. So literally, it's just a food street, and it's just a food street. That's all you see, and then there's food, lots of food on either side. So you have to go there hungry, ready to eat, ready to you have to be ready to just chase something new, try something new. And I was really, oh my gosh, I do remember thinking I wanted this and I wanted that. I wanted the stinky tofu, which I hadn't had in a long time. I wanted to try anything with lamb. So they had like these burger patty things, and the guy, when he was making it, I still remember this was 7 years ago. I feel like I'm due for another Muslim quarter in Xi'an visit or vlog. What do you guys think? So maybe that's somewhere I can go again and explore. I will not go to Terracotta Warriors. site again. It's actually, I remember it being a long trek out there because they had to drive quite far just to show you. It's a long visit. It's like all day long. And I remember just being exhausted after a while. So I will not do the Terracotta Warriors, but I feel like a Xi'an, the Muslim Quarter, is a stop that you need to do when you go to China. Let's see. I see a question here. Having lived in China for some time, is it what the media portrays? That's a really good question. Um, what specifically? What? Give me something specific. Give me an example, a really specific example. From my first impressions of China compared to, so I can give you a really good example of what my experience was when I first came to China. Um, I remember before moving to China, I did not expect what I saw, but in some ways I did. Uh, so before I went to China, I remember just reading a lot of crazy things about China, about the food, about the meats they use, and the food safety was like a big thing because me, I like my food. I like to eat. But for the most part, I would say that there are things that have surpassed my expectations with regard to China. Not China is very well developed. Um, it's very safe. Like that's one of the biggest things I appreciate about China, and I don't get anywhere else in the world. I could literally walk around 4 o'clock in the morning and nobody bothers me. Like nobody like that. I don't think I was ready for that. I don't think I knew. I don't think I knew that that's exactly what that like I would have experienced just freedom of not having to think or look over your shoulder about someone jumping you. Like something as simple as that. I don't know how to explain that. Like I feel like in the other parts of the world, you feel like you're prey and there's always a fucking predator. Like that's the best way I could describe it. In China, you feel like you don't have to have your guard up. You could just fucking, did I just curse on my live stream? Yes. You can just relax. So yeah, ignore my chaotic words that I'm using. So yeah, that's one important thing I think it's that you have to remember. With it being authoritarian, I don't experience that. You can really, you as a foreigner, you can really live a pretty normal life here. You can enjoy freedoms that you wouldn't be able to enjoy in the rest of the world. I don't feel the authoritarian side that the US media portrays. I'm not saying it's not like that. I'm just saying I don't feel it. You get what I'm saying? That's the best way I could describe it. Because I've had conversations with Chinese people and what I experience is not the same as them. Or what they've heard from other people about what other Chinese have experienced is not the same as what I've experienced. You guess what I'm saying? So, um, living here as an expat, I think it's different compared to if you are born as a Chinese here. That's the best way I could describe it. There's nothing other than that. It's pretty chill. All right, so let me get back. If you have any other questions, please post. I'll come back to it. Um, yeah. So the food in Xi'an's Muslim Quarter, I definitely love that. One thing you have to be wary of that it gets really crowded, especially around dinner time. People are coming there to eat. So if you don't like crowds, that walking street with the food may not be the best for you, may not be the best idea for you. You might want to maybe go a different time of the day but I have a feeling that place is always packed. But I think it just gets worse around dinner time or maybe lunchtime and stuff. So some of the things that you can expect to see, like you might see them roasting chestnuts, you might get the smell of cumin from everywhere. It was so pungent and strong. You'll see like lamb kebabs being grilled like everywhere, like you get them fresh. People mostly usually in China they're sold on like a metal skewer, but there's this wood that they would grill the lamb on, and and it's usually lamb that they sell more than beef in these, especially from Muslim establishments. You can get beef, of course, but lamb is usually quite popular and very tasty, very well seasoned, very delicious. And so, anyways, it's usually that there's this wood, this red wood that they would roast the barbecue the lamb, and oh my god, it just adds so much smoky flavor to the lamb. It's so delicious. So that's one of the reasons why I enjoy going to Muslim establishments, even outside of just the Muslim quarter. There are lots of Muslim restaurants all over China, which is quite that was a shocker for me. That was a shocker for me because I think I had the when I first came to China, especially, I think I had the assumption that everybody's Buddhist. They're not. Not everybody's a Buddhist. There are Christian Chinese I've met. There and they're Muslim Chinese, lots of Muslim Chinese. I was quite surprised, actually. So that was a little bit of a culture shock for me when I came to China and I realized there were Muslim Chinese around. So that's quite cool. But I'm just letting you all know the chaos in the Chinese in that Xi'an Muslim quarter. It's a lot to take in. You have to be aware. You don't have to feel like you don't feel unsafe though. That's the other thing too. Like when you go to European countries, I won't say any names, Spain, France, Portugal, Greece, you think of, oh my God, I could get pickpocketed. Oh my God, I have to keep my head neck on a swivel because I feel unsafe, or I don't know who's gonna snatch my bag or slash my bag, or you don't have to worry about that at all in the Muslim quarter. I don't even think about pickpockets and I know. It's like I swear, it's not the real world. The real world, it's you have to this. I wish the rest of the world was like this, where you didn't have to feel so unsafe. So I wish you can feel safe. You know what I'm saying? If you're sensitive to noise in Shia in as well, that's also another thing with when you're, navigating the Muslim quarter, the Muslim streets. But it's very beautiful. It's well lit. There's lots to see, lots to eat, lots to explore. There's lots to just the smells are like. I remember being like, no, I want to try this, and I kept going more. Oh, I want to try that, and I kept going more. I want to try this. So I hope you do watch the video that I posted on Xi'an, which is my latest video. You do get to see a lot of what I'm talking about because obviously I'm not showing it right now in my live stream. But I did enjoy that I got to observe, but enjoy at the same time. You know. All right. So what else? I made some quick notes that I can share with you. No, there's a lot of shopping as well. So if you want to get souvenirs as well, it's difficult. I will say though that it is difficult picking up souvenirs in China because I'm like, this is expensive because I know it's all made here. Why is it so expensive? So I definitely struggle with picking up souvenirs in China, but there are going to be lots of souvenirs that you can pick up as well. They're going to have those tiny little Xi'an warrior soldiers and stuff. So, by the way, Mary, thanks so much for watching. I appreciate you for checking in and asking a question. And it's great to be able to share now. I don't know why I struggle so much with sharing my life in China, but I reached a point where, hey, I've been here 10 years now, and so many people always ask me, what is life like here? And I'm like, I've been here for 10 years. Like, these are my friends. They're like, they don't understand. They don't know what it's like in China. I'm like, I'm clearly not sharing anything enough for people to understand how life is here. So I've realized this year, like this is my year of really staying consistent with sharing what life is like here. So I hope you guys continue to watch and enjoy, and always feel free to ask me questions. I'll try my best to answer. as I can. Um, oh, there was one thing that was really cool to see. A few things actually. One of them was you could actually see them make fresh noodles right in front of you, like freshly pulled, like their arm just stretching all the way out, and they're making these noodles, and it was quite impressive to see. I've seen it a couple times, a few times at different restaurants around China, but um, being able to see that being made right in front of you is really refreshing to see. Like they're making fresh noodles in front of you, especially in a world where everybody likes everything fast and instant. And in a lot of the Muslim restaurants, they tend to make their noodles fresh in front of you, which is really good. It's really, really nice to see, So, I mean, okay. What else? A lot of the food, I would say this though, a lot of the food was fried. If you looked, some of the things that I don't know if you saw what I chose in the video, I chose like the bao, mi and bao, the bread with like the lamb inside, which was so delicious. So the lamb was slow, it was boiling like for hours, like all day maybe, in that pot, and he pulled it out and he chopped it up and put it in a bun. That was fresh. The noodles that I made, it was cold, which I think the cold and the texture kind of threw me off, so I didn't enjoy that too much. And what else did I have? I can't remember now, but I do remember a lot of the food being fried. Oh yeah, I had the grilled lamb as well. Lamb. I said lemon. The grilled lamb as well. Um, I think I think the one thing I didn't like too much was the fact that a lot of the food is fried. A lot of like when you walk by, I was showing you all stuff, a lot of stuff. There were some instances where it was a lot of fried foods. So, but it's all good. If fried foods are your thing, go for it. It wasn't particularly my favorite thing. What else? So, have you guys heard about Xi'an before? Is it a city you guys have ever heard of? Is it new to you as well? I know China. It's funny because when my friends come or want to visit China, they're like, "Oh, we gotta go to Beijing to see the Great Wall." I'm like, guys, that's not the only thing in China to see. In fact, it's like at the bottom. I only recently, a year and a half ago, went to the Great Wall, and I've been here for 10 years. I've seen so much more, visited such beautiful cities. I went to the Great Wall, and I was like, yes, cool, it's impressive, but I've seen really beautiful parts of China, and it's unfortunate that a lot of people don't really go outside of the popular areas of China and stuff. They want to go to Beijing, Shanghai, if that much, and then they want to go to I don't know where, Shenzhen to shop, or Guangzhou. I'm like, China has so much to see, and there's so much more I want to see. I'm really excited to see. So, but Xi'an is not a place that a lot of people know. So that's the other thing too. I wanted to show this channel, like there's way more to see and do and explore, in China. So um, let's see the question. Mary, thank you for your question again. Also, did you see the discrimination? Okay, I definitely can't talk about that. I didn't see anything. I did not see anything, obviously. I didn't see anything in Xi'an when I was there, and recently I was in Xinjiang. Xinjiang has been all over the news, but there's nothing I can really say about it. When I was there, I will be honest about this part, I did feel an extra presence. You needed a permit to travel around with the tour guide that we were with. And we had between each, um, what do you call it? Each site that we had to stop to, like each landmark or whatever you want to explain, that you want to, just if I want to describe it, there were like 4 to 6 hour drives sometimes. We did a lot of driving, and within 1 6 hour drive, we would have been stopped like 2 3 times sometimes with checkpoint. There are checkpoints, and you have to show, especially if you have foreigners in the car. Specifically, if you have foreigners in the car, you have to show your passport. And they actually didn't even ask for the permit. They only asked for a passport. You can't really go through these without the permit anyway. So I don't know why they didn't ask for the permit. But um, the tour guide helps you with getting the permit. And then at these checkpoints, they would ask you to see your passport. There was one time they asked us to get out of the car and take a picture with the vehicle of the car, showing the license plate with our passports in our hands. So that happened one time. The rest of times, we just sat in the car. They took our passports. I guess they take pictures or whatever. So that's the thing about China. It's like all over China. This is standard. Whenever you check into a hotel, you are supposed to register your, not you specifically, the hotel that you're staying in. They are supposed to register you at the police station, so the government always knows where you are in China. So that is standard. That's something, no matter where you are in China, that happens. So but yeah, when I was in Xi'an recently, a couple of weeks ago, it wasn't too bad. I didn't feel like it was excessive or anything. I mean, I understand that Xi'an is, I said Xi'an. I understand that Xinjiang is a little bit different, and it, yeah, it's just run different, a little bit differently. Not so there's nothing more I could really say about that. But otherwise, it was cool. It was all right. I didn't really have too much of a issue with anything that was happening. The stops at the checkpoints were a little too much sometimes, but after a while we just got used to it. Like, we just had our passport prepared and we just gave it to them, and that was pretty much it. Yeah. So yeah, that was yeah, my experience. A little bit about my experience in Xi'an. I was filming a video of Xinjiang when I was my last couple days there. I tried to do a live stream, but the internet connection wasn't good. So that's why I was like, you know what, when I come back to my city, I would do a live stream to make it a little bit easier. So yeah, I'd love to know what else you guys would like me to cover in my vlogs. I have lots of vlogs already lined up and scheduled, so that's not a problem. Videos they are loaded. They are loaded in the clip. So it's just for them to come out, and I'll try my best to. Actually, I think this is a really great idea to do live streams, like give you guys a little bit of an insight and feedback and background about a video when I posted, or a vlog when I posted, and even if it's something I can do better or something I can improve or even share a little bit more about based on any videos that I recently uploaded. That was pretty cool. I did a video recently, like what the business class bullet train looks like in China, which was a really nice one. That was a really recent vlog I did actually this year. Like, it was in March or April or something. I vlogged that, and I was like really excited to post that up, because okay, business class is not expensive by foreign, like outside of China prices, right? But for China it's expensive. I paid like, I think like 900. No, I paid like 600. Wait, no, sorry, wait. Sorry, wait. I paid like 150 USD, somewhere there, for it, for that business class trip. 150 USD. And I think the ride was like 4 hours ride. I took a nap and everything. I showed you all me laying out in the business class, the business class chair. Like, it extends, and you're able to lay down flat and take a nap. They bring you a meal. The meal wasn't all that. It wasn't worth it. I could have skipped it, to be honest, because I told them no pork, and they put pork in it. And but to them, pork is like a vegetable. Because you tell them no meat, they're like, okay, cool, and they put pork in the rice, or the pork is already in the rice. So for them, pork is not really meat. Um, what else? They give you drinks, they give you snacks, they just give you water, I think, and tea. Yeah, they give you tea. They give you like a hot towel to like, sanitize your hands and freshen up if you want. They give you a blanket as well. They give you some, did you know those hotel slippers, like some brand new ones to relax. Like, geez, the only thing they don't give you is like earplugs or something. But otherwise, it's a good experience. It was something nice to experience. I was like, treat yourself. So I was taken. Actually, I came back from it was a business trip actually. So um I felt I really wanted to I wanted I was it was and usually the thing about it is I think the only thing I don't like is that it's right by the drivers, the operator, the train operator's cabin or whatever. So they're in and out, in and out. So if you try and take a nap, they're in and out, in and out. The doors open, close, and open, close. So that's the only thing I really couldn't handle. I mean, granted, you're at the very front of the train, but you literally the where they have the business class is literally right behind the train operator. But oh Lord, in and out. I mean, I was tired. I didn't sleep until later when I think they were going in and out less. But anyways, I think there were like one, two, three, four, five, six of. So I think it was about six seats in business class. So it's not that many seats. It's usually very quiet, quieter than the other carriages that can be quite loud and noisy, and people shouting, screaming, they listening to their phone on speaker. They don't know what headphones are. Like they never were invented or something, and it just can be loud. And then the people in a group, they just like cat cat cat. It's just too much. So I think I was really tired that day, so I did book the business class bullet train. So if you get a chance, check out that vlog. It's actually quite nice. The views were beautiful, as always, on the bullet trains in China. The landscapes that you get to watch from grasslands to the you get to drive through. The train goes through like the urban areas, the farmlands. It's a really good. It's always a good experience going on a bullet train. So whenever I host friends or family or anyone who wants to come and do a tour, I always try to book them a bullet train so that they can experience it as well. So that's quite good. But yeah, do you have any other questions for me? So yeah, what other video I recently put out? I'm trying to think what else just recently came out. Oh, I showed you guys an apartment, like one of the apartments I used to live in. So that's the apartment I used to live when when I worked at the school with the 10 day cycle. So I was at that school for 4 years. I worked there for 4 years, and it was it was smaller than what I had ever been in. That was the smallest apartment I'd been in, and it was not actually a teacher's apartment. So the teacher's apartment is usually like a two-bedroom with one bath and um living room, kitchen space, and stuff. But for some reason, I got into the one-bedroom apartments, which were not meant for. I thing is, at that time, I had a lot of stuff. Oh my God, they put me. So I walked. They had moved all my stuff into the apartment before I got there, and I was like, oh my God, I have so many boxes. This apartment is small. Like, what do I do? And I remember being frustrated when I first got there, but it was fine eventually because it was so cozy and especially in winter time when it was cold and the heating it was easy to heat up the apartment. When it was summertime, I was easy to cool it down because it was such a small apartment. But I loved it. I loved it. The sofa folded out into a bed. So sometimes I would just have like movie nights and stuff in my living room. And The bedroom was a little bit cramped. There was a desk and a bed in there, and but what I loved about that apartment. So when I first moved to that school, I was on the second floor, which I was really pissed about. I think maybe because I had so much stuff, they were like, "Yeah, we're not going up and down the elevator with all this stuff." So to get these things in, so what they did, they put me on the second floor, which I was so annoyed by because after school, when I go home from work, the last thing I want to do, because the school was right here and the what do you call it, the apartments were for the teachers and staff or whoever, were literally a 5 minute walk from each other. And the playground was right below my window, like literally. I couldn't even. I had to keep my curtains closed all the time. It was loud. The kids playing. Rah, rah, rah. I don't want to hear no kids when I come home from work. So the following year, I applied. Sorry, one of the teachers who was on the 30th floor. I can't remember who, but somebody who was on the 30th floor. I was like, "Yo, I'm gonna apply for that apartment," and I got it. So I made sure to get it all cleaned up, and I moved it. And that's what I showed you guys. I showed you guys when before I moved in there. So I cleaned it up, and then I moved my things, and that was at the beginning of my holiday that I moved in. Yeah, so it would have been the end of June. I moved in, so that when I came back from holiday, it would have been like really easy to just. And I also didn't want anyone to take the apartment while I was gone, right? So because apparently there was supposed to be an official application process. I think I just messaged whoever in HR. I was like, "Yo, I want an apartment." They were like, "Oh, no." I think I asked if it was empty, and they were like, "Yeah." I was like, "Cool, can I have it?" And they were like, "Yeah, just come pick up the keys, blah blah blah, sign off for the keys or whatever." But after that, I heard that the process to get the keys to the apartment was so long and drawn out. Like, I dodged a bullet, and I did some quick thinking and got my stuff sorted pretty quickly for the apartment. So that was quite nice. I think when I came back from holiday, oh, that holiday was I loved it. That was a beautiful holiday that I had that year. That summer. It was a good holiday. I actually did not know where I was going. I only knew that I was going to Turkey at first. That was how my holiday was starting. I was gonna fly to Turkey, and I booked it long ahead. Like, no, I didn't book it that long in advance. Maybe a month or 2 weeks in advance or something. I told my friend from Turkey who I met in the Philippines. I'm like, "Girl, remember when I told you I was coming to come visit you? I booked a ticket," and she was so shocked. So she was like, "No way, I can't believe you're really coming." So I ended up booking. All I knew, I was starting in Turkey, and I went wherever the wind blew me after that. So I was in Turkey for 18 days. I went all over the country, well, all over the northern part of the country, which was really beautiful. And then, actually, no, I did some southern parts of Turkey too, which was really nice. And then, after Turkey, I did Serbia, Montenegro, Bosnia, Greece. Feel like there's one more in there. Yeah, and I did Brazil as well. So that was quite nice. So yeah, that was a good trip. And I came back to China, back to work. I literally stayed. I traveled until I got back midnight that summer. I was gone. I was a gone. So, and that trip started disastrous because the airline lost my luggage. I only had what was on my back. I didn't have a carry-on, nothing. I had two carry-ons because one of the bags was for my sister. So I put them. I checked it. I checked all my bags, and I had no small carry-on with my toiletries or not. I had nothing when I landed in Turkey, and I had to buy. I waited. I was trying to wait it out for like 2 3 days. I said I would never fly. I don't even think that airline exists now. It was just a mess, and it took a week before that first. I mean, I am surprised I even had such a grand time in Turkey because the first 3 4 days, 5 days, I think a week. I think I reached 6 days still waiting for my luggage, and I'm like, I can't spend my whole holiday in Istanbul the entire because Istanbul is loud. Like at first, it's beautiful, and then it gets so loud, so it just, the noise is just too much after a while, so I needed some peace and quiet. And once you leave Istanbul, it's fun, it's fine. But Istanbul is a vibe. It's fun. I feel as though it's somewhere I want to experience with friends. I did it by myself, which was really cool. And then when I came back at the end of the trip to meet up with my friend, she took me around from a local's point of view. So I saw it from my exploration and the hostel telling me like different places to go, important places to go. And then I felt like I got it from a friend's perspective. She took me out for a Turkish breakfast, which was like a huge spread of food. I had just found out I was diabetic, so I was just like depressed. It's so funny that I say that Turkey was so amazing. That was one of the most depressing times in my life, because I literally, days before I went to Turkey, I found out I was diabetic. And I'm like, I was going to Turkey to eat. I was planning to eat. And I went to Turkey and I was like, I can't eat this, I can't eat that. Sugar, 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 sugar. Everything has sugar, everything's sweet. Baklava is sweet, that's sweet. This is flour. Everything's bread. Oh my God. So to be able to hear me say that Turkey was a blast is crazy. But yeah, Turkey was really good. Turkey was really good. At the end of the day. So yeah, that's the great thing about living in China as well. You can visit other parts of the world like really easy. The prices are quite good. The flight times are not so bad compared to if you're coming from the West. It's a longer flight time. Um, but yeah, China is a vibe. If you guys ever have a chance to visit, I hope you do. It would be amazing. Um, I will say this though, and I tell people all the time, China is not for everybody. I don't think every country is for everybody, but I'll be honest, China's different. China's a little bit of a shock for some people. So don't come to China and be like, oh, I'm gonna love it. Not everybody loves China. I've met people where they're like, yeah, I can't wait to leave. They spend 1 year and they're like, and then I've met people, they're here for 30 years. So the time just runs. I came here for 3 years. It's 10 years now, guys. It's 10 and a half years. It's almost 11 years. The time, it just shows you that time, it runs. So if you have any more questions, please post. I like chatting with you guys. So I'm drinking my green juice. It's almost done. I'm taking forever to drink it though. What's in my green juice? Bits of melon. I told you guys I have diabetes, so I'm always drinking something to like bring my sugars down and stuff. I have bits of melon in here, some lemon, okra, string beans. I started putting turmeric. I've always had turmeric in my freezer, but I haven't been drinking it lately. I put some turmeric, black pepper, apple cider vinegar, garlic. What else? Yeah, I've been trying to finish this the entire stream. Oh, I'm not succeeding. But yeah. I think that's pretty much it. If you guys enjoyed watching the video, please hit a thumbs up. Hit subscribe if you haven't subscribed as well. And if there are any other questions while you're watching the stream, please post your questions so that I can know what else I can cover in other videos, and I'll make it a topic maybe and just do a live stream on it. But I'm glad to see that there are people who are interested. You guys are watching my videos. You guys are enjoying the shorts, the way I'm giving you little clips and stuff of China. You've been enjoying like the live streams and video content over the years that I've created. I have a lot of videos, and I even lost videos too because I was traveling in Cambodia and someone stole my phone. And see, I told you the being comfortable in China really messes with you, because when you go to other countries, you're like, Oh, wait, you can't just put your phone down? No, someone will take it up and walk away with it. And you wouldn't even see when it happens. It would so fast. So that's the kind of safety I talk about. There are times in China where, I mean, I'm not saying people don't take your things here. People take your things here. It's just that it's so rare. Like you forget. And the other thing too, there are cameras everywhere. So when you think nobody's seeing, someone's watching. I had a friend who was drunk like a skunk in Shanghai one time, and he did not know when he lost his phone. He just remembered the last place he was. So he went to the police. Police was like, you know what, that's enough. We have enough information with regard to knowing the last place you remember yourself being. So they pulled up the cameras wherever that place was. I think it was a club he remembered leaving, and they were able to pull up the. I don't know if he knew the time that he had left or what he had left the club, whatever. I guess he was drunk, but still had enough wherewithal to know what time or around what time. So the police pulled up the footage outside the club. They were able to see the taxi that he jumped into, and they pulled up they snapped a shot of the license plate, zoomed in like, oh, okay, this is the license plate, and they were able to contact the driver. Granted, he had to pay to get his phone back, but um because of the license plate number, they had the phone number of the driver. They called the driver. The driver's like, well, I'm 500 kilometers out that way. I'm saying a number. I don't know how far away he was outside of Shanghai. And he's like, if you want me to come back in, you have to pay me like 100 USD to come back and drop off the phone, which is fine. I mean, he could have shipped it and it would have cost like 2 USD or 10 USD. But anyways, he brought the phone back, and I guess the guy needed the phone right away. So he brought the phone back the next day, and my friend got his phone back. So even though, yes, people do take the driver didn't take his phone. He lost his phone and he left his phone in a taxi. But my point is it's that you can be found. You're never lost in China. You can be found. And then your things can be found, or somebody can see something happen. So whether through cameras or what else. So yeah, it's always a reminder, like something like that. When my phone was stolen in Cambodia, I was like, yeah, so I need to be careful when I travel. I can't be, just relaxed about it and stuff. So anyways, somebody else just joined my live stream and about to wrap it up. Thank you for joining. If you have any questions before I leave, I could answer. Anything you want to know about China, give me a thumbs up, you give me a heart so that other people can join the live stream and they can watch. What's this? So yeah, no other questions? If no other questions about China, I'll see you on the next live stream. Bye.